Aloha, beloveds. Thank you so much for tuning in again. I'm here inside my little camping vehicle that a friend let me borrow. And just spending some time here, contemplating some insights and reflections that have really been bubbling up to the surface. And I made a video earlier today out in Lithia Park with the snow, which was really beautiful and special, and I plan on going back there tomorrow. But I want to continue that message because it's really important right now to just recognize, my feelings and emotions around this topic, and with the awareness that if I'm really feeling something very strongly as an individual, that good chances are many others are feeling that way, and it could very well be a deep part of what's happening in the collective at this moment. And what it feels like ultimately emotionally is a lot of frustration and grief, sadness, anger, just like a deep repulsion of the system and what it's done to us. I'll be 46 here in a couple months, and I grew up in the school system, in a private school for a while, but then in a public school, and just I'm a really good student, but good student. I got straight A's and did everything I was told. I was very obedient child and raised in a Christian church, and was very compliant and obedient because I was told that I would go to hell, and I was shamed over and over again for being a bad girl. And I reject that now. I totally reject that. I am stepping into and have been stepping into my authenticity. And I'm going through this portal right now where if I feel that I'm being shamed or being told what to do, it's a heavy charge. And so I'm working through that as gracefully as I possibly can. But I am a sovereign being, and I reject being told what to do. Many of us are feeling that way because of the government and these systems, just like the school system and the religious doctrine, which is a system of indoctrinating children and suppressing them, and mind control and brainwashing. It's a cult. And I feel very strongly that capitalism is a cult. And we need to get out of this this continuous mania. It was really up for me around Christmas in particular because like my mother, for example, was trying to force me to give my son money to buy Christmas presents. And I said no, because I don't feel it's okay to continue to raise children that are materialistic and just and mindlessly consume for the sake of consuming, for a fleeting moment of opening a present and experiencing some sort of dopamine rush from that, and then just needing another thing and another thing and another thing and another thing over and over and over again. It's like an endless cycle. It's the hungry ghost. That is what it is. And it's just continuously creating suffering because nothing's ever good enough. And so I wanted to speak to what I had addressed in the previous video earlier today, which was my sadness and grief over how I feel so disconnected from my biological family because I'm not conforming and I'm not complying and I'm not going to do what I'm told and I'm not going to work in some stupid, meaningless job that drains my chi, my health, and doesn't allow for me to enjoy my life. And I'm seeing my 22-year-old daughter go through that right now, just this mania about collecting money and feeling like that's going to solve all of her problems if she has enough money, and seeing how unhappy and depressed and neurotic she is because of it, and because of the way she was raised, and because of the school systems, and because of the government systems that have trained children how to just be good worker bees and basically slaves. We are breaking free from slavery in so many ways, but it's really something that we've done to ourselves once you reach a certain age. If you read the book, The Four Agreements, the author talks about how we make these agreements unconsciously with our parents and with society, and we become domesticated, essentially. And then we become self-domesticating beings because we've been so brainwashed that we continue to domesticate ourselves, even though technically we have the conscious awareness of breaking free from that, breaking free from the matrix. And for me, plant medicine was hugely influential. I wouldn't be where I am without that medicine. And it allowed me to see the bullshit. It allowed me to see the neurosis and anxiety producing mind constructs, the mind nets that are out there continually trying to capture us and enslave us. And I reject that. And I am breaking free. But what's frustrating for me at this moment, and I'm sure this resonates with many tribe out there, is that our families are, like my parents in particular, shame me for not doing what they think is the right thing to do in terms of having a job. I'm a licensed teacher. I have a master's degree, and I will never work for the school system, never. And I don't even know how I feel about telling children what to do in terms of their education. I feel like they're fully capable of educating themselves just by existing and being in life and going outside and enjoying nature and interacting with one another and with other human beings and growing food and spending time with the land. And I'm more about unschooling than anything at this point. And that's a lot, saying a lot. I have 5 children and they all went to public school. And there was a point in my life where I fully endorsed that and volunteered at the schools. And I went to college for 7 years to get a teaching degree. So, yeah, drastically changed. And I see that it's just continuing to create discord in the field and suffering. And we have to get out of it. And what's challenging right now for me that I would like to reflect upon and just find some camaraderie in the field right now from folks is